guys to keep you waiting. We can kick off with the press conference. Just your thoughts heading into this one. Obviously, you're playing on so many fronts, but of course, Nedbank Cup is on the menu this weekend and today. Just your thoughts on Kaizer Chiefs and what kind of a game we can expect on Sunday.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you very much for being here. And obviously it's not a problem to have wait a little bit. It's a pleasure. I was in a good chat with our press officer, Chuping. Regarding the match, as we approach the final of the competition, obviously it's the level of the opponents raises, and we have had one of the historical and top teams in South Africa, to whom we need to pay strong attention. We played them for the championship. It was a very difficult match. I played in some particular situation regarding the amount of games we were playing on the time, but always a very strong team, well coached by Coach Nabi, and we need to take ourselves to the limit in order to, if we want to win the match and go to the final of this competition, because obviously, as I said here from the very beginning, it's our objective to arrive on the decisive moment. So we need to push Mamelodi Sundowns to the highest level of motivation, but to the highest level of capacity to play, to overcome the difficulties that naturally will appear during a 90 minutes, let's hope, match, considering obviously what we are playing for, the style of game we are playing for, and the opponent we are playing against.
Miguel, let's take the first question. I'm looking for new hands actually, so that we have fair timber. You haven't asked today, so we can start with you. Karabo, I've noted you, but I'm going to give preference to other people first.
Coach, congratulations on qualifying for the semi-finals in the CAF space. But coach, coming to this game on Sunday, how do you then keep your players grounded, looking at where they are, and going into a team that they've beaten, inside out, if I may use that loosely? How do you then keep them, looking forward to the match and knowing very well that if they win that one, they've got another final coming up?
Yeah, it's a very good point you put on the table, and it's a good challenge for me. I think that I spoke about that immediately in the locker room in Tunisia. So when I addressed to the players in the locker room in Tunisia, not only to congratulate them and praise for the fact that they had just beaten in that moment the team on the second position on the CAF ranking. That match allowed us to overcome, because now I was just informed that Mamelodi Sundowns got the second position on the ranking. What is wonderful to see, obviously, for South Africa and for the club and for myself and for the players. But we cannot stand still after something like that. And I didn't really appreciate the way we reacted in terms of games after we had big victories. I remember that first time we beat the first game we played against Pirates that we won in Loftus, then we didn't succeed in the following game. When we played with Chiefs also we didn't succeed, and we won, we also didn't succeed the following game. It means that we have a strong mental work ahead of us. Anyway, I think that is not unique for sure for these players to have to play such decisive games in such term in terms of time. And obviously what I felt in that locker room was a strong will and a strong commitment regarding the future. We should feed ourselves on victories, and if we feed ourselves on victories, we are always on the limit and on the top. Obviously, that we had to cope with different points, different aspects, different perspectives. The first one is obviously recover from what we had behind. It was a very intense match that obliged us to a high level of concentration, and that's not only the physical impact, but the mental, the psychological impact of playing a game until the last minute in such level of concentration. The fact that we stayed there for 5 days. The trip was quite comfortable. We made a wonderful trip. I really thank the club to have provided us the possibility of flying in a charter, what made us obviously reduce the impact of the fatigue that a commercial flight would induce. So now time to rest. Players are resting. So yesterday and today, we just arrived in the middle of the day, so we provided them rest. Today also time for families, time to re-energize, pick some social activity, have the chance to take families on dinner, whatever they want to do, just stay at home, just feel their comfort, their pets, their family, whatever gives them comfort. So that then we can obviously push them again. So after we start tomorrow, and from tomorrow on, our focus will be unique on this competition. Everybody wants to succeed and will succeed. Being a coach at Sundowns helps, because the context where we live is a performance context permanently. So everybody will be thinking only and mainly on the Champions League match. On the Nedbank Cup match, and no one will be thinking about whatever will happen after. I have the total conscious that the way you do the things day by day will always influence what will be ahead. And I want to have on the weekend a positive influence and on what we'll have to do ahead. It means that we need to play to win. But it's not a normal match. It's a match that will put one team out of the competition. That brings the best of all the players from our side and from the Chiefs side. So we just need to take ourselves to the top, understand what strategy to adopt, how to face the game, how we can overcome the difficulties that will be faced on the game, take a look on what we did the previous time, what Chiefs has been done since then, and that work he's been doing in this moment in the backstages for sure, so that tomorrow I can discuss with my assistants the way we're gonna go through the next days in order to take the team to that limit. But I totally understand, as I said, your question, and it will be, I don't believe, a hard work, but a work I have to keep in sight permanently until the end of the match.
Thank you, Coach. Let's move on to Mazola.
Coach Mazola Mulefe from SABC Sport over here. I wanted to ask, obviously you've expressed how unhappy you've been about the fixture congestion, but when you are top of the table and in 2 semi-finals, does it make it a little bit better, the fruits of your labor coming out for you to see?
Well, I agree. We cannot be in the moments of decisions without going through the process. Obviously, that we still have some features that are some congestion, but we've been managing, and I think from now on things will be manageable. Despite the level also increases, that brings extra, I will not say pressure, but extra level of demand of levels of concentration, extra volume of work from our part, so that we can be very detailed and simple in the way then we bring those things for the players. We were 5 days in Tunisia, and it was very tough to prepare this match, because we knew that probably our sessions there were being seen. It was very difficult to keep privacy, so we had to work some things inside in the hall, in the hotel. So it also was a lot of volume of work, and as I said, emotionally it's demanding for the players. But I've been receiving from the players a highly high level of commitment. And when you reach the end of the season, you look ahead and you don't have so many games to play. You just increase the number of games you play if you do well, and we want to increase those numbers. Now we got extra 2 more on Champions League, but we want more. We want 1 more on the Cup. Then the Championship is what it is. There's no more matches to play, rather the ones that we have the right and obligation to do. But then we also go on the World Cup, and we will fight against tough opponents to try to see if we can play 1 more. But this is the level that players and coaches and staff and clubs that want to be in the decision-making moments and on the highest level have to cope with. So also in the flight here, already we programmed a lot that has to do with the following weeks. How we're going to play when we go to Cape Town, where we're going to stay, which day we're going to depart, where we're going to sleep. So how we provide good conditions, not only for the next match, but in few weeks in front. In the morning I received a phone call, conference where we worked on the feature, on how we're going to make the trip to Egypt. So we have to work a lot ahead if we want to provide the best conditions for everybody. And that's why I feel so well in a club like the one I represent, like Sundowns, Mamelodi Sundowns, because people is working hard in order to help us to succeed. I'm demanding, I know, but the level of demand I put has been receiving good answers. And from the players, that's exactly what we expect, is that we can cope now with the responsibility. And that sense comes back to the previous question, is the players fight their lives to live moments like this. So they cannot complain on nothing, rather than enjoy with the responsibility, pushing themselves on the limit, because we'll be put on proof every day from now on. Every match is a final, and but it's so enjoyable, the ride now. So enjoyable. Let's hope we can obviously keep it going on the level that we've been doing.
Right, Velile, that's the last one for the live section. Or is yours an embargoed question?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
From my part, I have time.
okay, yeah. Coach Vele, also from SABC, you have a strong background of also having worked with the youth, and you understand the importance of players playing in a continental championship, and also the under 17 or even under 20 World Cup as well. I see the squad for South Africa has just been announced for SA under 20, and it's got 2 of your players, Diwani and Letlaku. How important it is for them to be there, representing their nation, and looking at the schedule that you've got, do you think you'll be able to release them?
Let me, because it's not a shame, I'm not aware of the list that came out. I really am not. Today I took a little bit of the morning for myself, and in the afternoon I'm already working. Because I needed to do 2 or 3 private things, but what I know, what I see every day is that there's a strong work being done in the last years regarding the youth department of Mamelodi Sundowns, and I feel it because I work close to them. I have a wonderful relation with Cardoso, that we knew each other from the years I work in Sporting. I have a wonderful relation with Coach David, that is now ahead of the Bisky team, and I have obviously clearly a wonderful relation with Mr. Fleming, that is managing in general the direction of the sports policy in the club. We wanna have youngsters that can succeed and arrive in the level of first team, and this comes from having them on the youth national teams. We are following the under 17s. Paulo was there. So we follow our players. We follow our players not only on the Disky team's matches, but also by calling them regularly in our training sessions. For example, we went to Tunisia, and there was a friendly match played in Clorco where some of them were lined up among our other players that stayed, the remaining ones. And so we have big expectations regarding the ones that are coming from the young teams, but also we have expectations regarding the ones that are already working with us. What you need to understand is that I think I already addressed some words regarding this. How is the process of bringing up a young player? Because young players, they fluctuate a lot their performance, and they don't deal the same way with the expectations that are put on them generally. But I think we have been watching some nice things from the players that we have been lined up. Tiwani, by the way, Tiwani played shifts last match in a very good level. Tiwani was with us in the Champions League match on the bench. He didn't play, but he was there. I was completely confident about putting him. Mali entered the match and gave us enormous stability in a moment that tactically was very important. Mali has been playing a lot in our team, and we have many more players. Kutuano helped us to arrive on this moment. As you remember, the goal that was scored at home in the first game against Raja was a pass to Ikram from Kutuano in a long ball from Roman. So the boys are showing their level in the moments we call them. But also it's important that you understand that the youngster should prove himself every day among the strongest ones. It means that on a daily basis, on the training sessions, they need to push themselves to the limit. And there's where sometimes there are fluctuations on their level. Because for a young boy that comes sometimes, with all the respect, from nothing, you know what I mean, from a process. Also sometimes it's not easy to cope with the responsibilities and the expectations that are put on them. So we need to embrace them, to protect them, to work daily with them. Sometimes to show them that the job is not done still. There's a lot to go. It means that sometimes they come with us, sometimes they need to understand that they are not on the level. They also need to stay out. And it's from this work, embracing them, protecting them, giving them love and working to develop them that the future will be made of. I strongly pay attention to them. I would like to have them all playing, but it would mean that they will have to prove every day in such a level, because as you understand, the team or the effective or the group of players is so strong. But the fact that they are already there, they are competing, they are fighting every day, is already very positive from our part in terms of evaluation. Let's see how they will do in the future. I think that we have nice perspectives ahead of us.
All right. I'm looking for new hands first. I've noted you. I'm moving on to the embargoed section. Any new hands? Okay, let's go to Karabo. Embargoed till 8 p.m.
Good afternoon, Coach. I think my question is similar to my colleague, but I just want to focus on a specific player. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I work closely with the league. Ndando Nkosi, the captain of the DDC, he's currently, or last season was the player of the season in that league. He wasn't, or maybe he was promoted, but he's not playing. How do you deal with such a player? Because I watch him week in and week out. He's like playing with kids in a Sunday league. How do you keep him motivated? Because I think he needs to go to the next level.
Fantastic question, and very, very nice moment to put it. As you understand, I've been opening a little bit the boundaries regarding commenting individual players here in South Africa, but well, not a problem. I'll speak about Ntando because he deserves. And he deserves because he's a very, very, very honest, humble, and quality player. If I would put you a message I have on my phone regarding his performance on that friendly match that was played, a message from my assistant coach that stayed here, Pedro, you would have the answer to that question. Because he told me we have to give a chance to this boy. But it's important that you understand that this boy has on his position two international players. One is called Teboho Mokoene, the other one is Albas Motogi. So it's not easy for him to overcome that difficulty. I would like so much that we could finish the championship in a way that he can prove still himself in front of everybody in a championship match, because he has level to play PSL, no doubt. So I totally agree with what you say, that that we should provide him in the future the right environment, context, so that he can continue his process of development. Playing on Diski in the moment, not only from him, but also from other players that have not regularly, but sometimes being taken there. Like even Maseko that played sometimes there. Tiwani sometimes went there. Kutluan sometimes went to play there. Mali, no, because Mali has been playing regularly with us, there's no sense. But it's also an opportunity we give to them to get the game time, so that when we call them, they are capable to perform. The other day I had a talk, a discussion. A discussion doesn't mean it's a bad is a good thing. A discussion has to do with taking opinions in the sense regarding exactly that process with Mr. Flem. Because the fact that I put Kutluan a lot of time on the bench and I don't send him to play Diski sometimes doesn't allow him to have the stimulus of game he needs. So, for example, in the last match that we played, we didn't take Kutluano, not only because it was our option, but because we understood that he had to go to play. Because probably he would again stay on the bench. And we cannot make it to the young player to make him leave the season without having the chance to play regularly, whatever level it is. What you need to understand is what we're going to do during that season and what we're going to do in the next one. Because there's a clear raise, a clear level that must be augmented in order to promote the player to the level we want. And not only having him training regularly in the highest level, that's what Natando is doing. He's proving himself every day in the middle of high-level players. That also is a stimulus of growth. But also he also needs to prove himself in the competitive levels, games, because Diski also faces some interesting games. We've been watching them. I saw them live, but I see a lot of them because I'm always provided a resume of the players' actions, so I always take a look on these actions. And the growth of a player is also emotionally, how he deals with the emotions not playing there, how he has to overcome the difficulties. Natando already made some mistakes this season regarding that, but the fact that he had that mistakes and that we work on them is also a matter of a way of him to grow for the level that he needs to be on in the future. Well, let's see what will be his next step and how we'll work with him in the end of the season towards his development, and also let's see what will happen until the end of the season.
Chogozisi.
Greetings, Coach. I'm Chogozisi from Far Post. Coach, I think I've asked you this question before at the start of your time at Sundowns, but obviously things have changed now that you've been here for a while. Having to work with such a big squad, you obviously have players that are quality, they know they can play elsewhere, but they may not get chances to play because you've got players that are competitive and doing very well. How are you managing players that are not getting as much game time?
Yeah. It's a tough job. It's a tough job, mostly because you love everybody, you like them so much. And there were moments, even when you gave not many minutes, but the answers in general from the players were good. It means that you stay attached to that performance, and sometimes you want to please them, but you cannot, because the rules of the game are so clear. And the fact that some players, they raise their hands also make the other ones have to get out, or to go out of the list on a regular basis. I think we spoke a lot about Neo in the past. He went for national team, he made 2 very good games, and Neo got the space again in the squad. So sometimes it's just a matter of also having an opportunity. But when we had a feature with more congestion, it was more simple because we had to rotate players, so they will have an opportunity. But at the same time, when you have so many matches, you don't train a lot. And when you don't train a lot, also you don't have opportunities for the players to show themselves to the coach in the training sessions. So that's a process that is really not easy. It's really not easy. And we have 2 more players that will join the group, that are already joining the group, almost normal. That is Motobi and Temba. So 2 more to make, between commas, confusion in all of this situation. But also I want to praise the attitude that the players have in the group, because they really keep their level on the training sessions, what gives a lot of comfort to the coach. I strongly believe that in other contexts, it means eventually in other countries, by the culture, by the way of being of the players, it would be very difficult to have such a big group of players. But here, by the level of education I found in the club and in the country in general, by the way people understand also how should be the behavior in a group and how they protect the values of the group and the interests of the club and the group itself and of the players, keeps me a lot, makes me the job easier, let's say. I thought I would struggle much more. In the beginning, I thought it would be so difficult for myself. But you understand that there are always small issues. There are always small issues. We had Tapelo Moreno was out, then he came, he performed in such level, and then he got a small thing again in the whole match with Esperance, and he had to go out again. So we needed, and Zouk was out, he played 3 games, in the last one he made a wonderful performance, and he got injured. Now he's back. He was on the bench in the match with Esperance, the second match. And there was a moment I was about to put him to play, both him and Tiwani, because when I said that the team was needing stability, I don't know, the people that was there maybe understood. I was a little bit stressed on that moment, how to make the decision of how I can give stability to the team, how I reinforce the team, how I help the boys inside, by not taking out the possibility of arriving on the goal of Esperance, so keeping threats over Esperance so that they would not come with everything they could give in terms of offensive actions. So it means that we trust them. They understand that we trust them. They understand that one of the values we have inside the team is trust. So it's not by the fact that they are not in the team in 1 game, 2 games or 3 games, that if I need to put a player in the 4th game, I will put it. What I need is have him physically under condition so that he can perform, because I know that in terms of technical and tactical approach, they can give the answer. Yesterday I received a report about the state of the players, all of them. Who we have in this level, who we have there, what we have to do during this week, so that these players can be available for you, for me, coach. And this is also the work of the people that is behind me, from the fitness department, let's say. And it's very important, because like that you always balancing the players so that you have availability and choice. Because you also don't want the players to go on the pitch and don't have conditions to perform. For example, as you understood, I protected Tashrik during the period of Ramadan, because in the beginning he was okay, but he dropped clearly his level. And we had to protect him because he's such a detailed, physically very detailed and very particular player, that we cannot expose him to bad performance. So we had to protect him so that he would keep his level protected, because he's a high level player for us. Now he's completely different moment, and then he joined the team again. So it's also the job of the coach, first make them believe, grow the trust between ourselves, and prove it. Because sometimes coaches, they say, I trust everybody, but when the moments come, he don't put the place to play. But I think I proved myself that I trust everybody there. Because even if in the moment they are not playing, they already played, it means that I trust it. And that I keep saying to them every day.
Okay, we are wrapping up now. Tiseto, is your question a Sunday question or?
Yes,
it's a Sunday.
That will be awesome.
Since you are now online.
Yes, Sunday. Thanks for
Sunday,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
This one is embargoed for Sunday.
Congratulations, coach, for reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League, and also congratulations for improving to second position on the rankings. You mentioned it briefly a few minutes ago. I just wanted you maybe to educate us a little bit, because I only know that you got 3 points for for reaching the semi-finals, and you were a few points behind Esperance in the rankings. How does it work? Was it helped by the performances of Pirates and Stellenbosch?